p.m.
What's going on, Wise Take Nation? Welcome to another NBA DFS podcast. I'm your host, Paulie D, and I'm joined once again by Mr. Stevie Brown DFS. You can follow him on Twitter at Stevie Brown DFS. Stevie, how's your night going?
I'll find out by the end of the show. Kept saying on the Y stream earlier, I was all on stacking 5 Blazers tonight. So, yeah, if this game goes okay, then I'll have a pretty decent night. But it doesn't look like it's gonna be high scoring so far. So, I don't know. We'll find out.
It's early.
It's early.
Probably stacking the first game is not going to take it unless this blows out one way or the other. There was a couple guys you definitely needed to have: Miles Turner, Chris Middleton. Brooke Lopez did fairly well, I believe. But Middleton.
Yeah, he scored like 32 DKP.
Yeah, so definitely him as well. Looks like a blend of the two. Probably with more in this last game, unless it blows out, will end up being a ticket. But it was a crappy 2-game slate. Moving forward, we have a 9-game slate to look at for tomorrow. This is my very first time looking at it, same as you. We just briefly glanced at the injuries. A couple of note: Drew Holiday will be out for New Orleans. Joel Embiid remains out for the Sixers. I'm seeing Kenneth Faried is going to be out for Houston, and Ricky Rubio doubtful, which that definitely opens up some things on the Jazz, who are playing the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Not the most attractive game in the world, but some usage opportunity there. 9-game slate. Don't have any lines or anything really worth looking at to talk more, but just glancing, we have outside of maybe Philly, Houston, which is not, exactly a play. Oh, also Golden State, Denver, the last game of the night, has playoff implications. Clippers, OKC. Are the Clippers in the playoff race still?
Yeah, definitely. Clippers are, especially with the Lakers gone now.
What's the they're in right now at the playoffs?
I think they have 7th or 8th seed right now. It's taking me about 2 seconds to check. Let me see.
All right. Well, they play OKC on a back-to-back, and then Philly, Houston, 2 playoff teams, but not that they see each other. Otherwise,
they're tied 7th and 8th seed with the Spurs right now.
Clippers are okay. Yeah, so Clippers, OKC could be another good one. Anyway, let's do what we do. We'll do the position by positions. What do you got at point guard? You cover the DraftKings. I'll look at FanDuel. What do you got at point guard down to about 5K?
I mean, starting at top, I'm going to love Kemba. 8-1, going against the Wizards on DK. We all know, we see every game. Crazy how people refuse to stack it, but the Wizards just bleed fantasy points to opposing players. Kemba's been playing close to 40 minutes per game now. The only thing that's really been holding him back the last couple of games are difficult matchups and shooting absolutely awful. But when he comes into the match against the Wizards, he's priced fairly cheap, only 8K on DK. I'm going to love him, man. It's going to be hard not to like a lot of these Hornets there, so I'm going to be all over Kemba tomorrow. Picking up top 2, Donovan Mitchell, 8-4 against Memphis. Of course, Memphis isn't one of the most ideal matchups. Well, they're still pretty good defensively, though, since the All-Star break and trade deadline. They're actually not that slow-paced team like everyone thinks. They started the year at bottom 5 and pretty much went the whole way, but with the new acquisitions, Gasol gone and everything, they've been sitting in the middle of the pack. So where Donovan Mitchell's 8-4 on DK, no Rubio, we're assuming, no Neto. He's gonna get more ball handling responsibility. So I definitely like him there. Luka too. He's point guard eligible on DK. He's 9-3. Doncic.
Yeah.
It's tough because Ben Simmons is just around the same price tag and same position eligibility on DK2, where they're both point guard and small forward. But Luka's been a monster, man. Like people will ride the game logs and are going to see a couple of blowouts before the last game, and like lower scoring games for him, and that might hold him back. But his usage has been up like towards like 40% now. Assist rates above 30%. He's getting above 10 rebounds a game, where he's getting his minutes in close games. So I'm gonna like a lot of Luka tomorrow too. It's gonna be tough between him and Ben Simmons, like I said, because Ben Simmons is in a lot more appealing matchup against Houston. But I'm sure nine-game slate can't be too difficult to fit them both in, especially when they're gonna fit in a lot of your guard, forward, util spots. So I don't mind even jamming them both in. Ben Simmons too. Like since the trade deadline, not trade deadline, since Embiid's out, he's been playing close to 40 minutes a game. He's above 1.3 fantasy points per minute now. The matchup's super appealing, where he came off a couple of tougher matchups like Golden State, Orlando, and he still played great in them. So at 9K, I'm gonna love him a lot too.
There's a bunch up top. You know, you got
Yeah,
Kemba, you got Ben Simmons. You talked about Luka.
Westbrook even too. Like he's 10-8 going against the Clippers. It's how can't you love that matchup there for him? He's got a little bit of price dip, but tough not to want to pay for him.
Yep, definitely some options on the high end. Creep down a little bit. What do you see like in that mid tier? Is there anything there?
So Winslow is kind of appealing if Dragic sits. I think he's questionable still, but it's against the Cavs. They're not one of the most fast-paced teams around, but their defense is awful, so they kind of bleed out some nice fantasy points to opposing players too. Uh, Mike Conley's interesting, man. He's 7'3", going against the Jazz in a tougher matchup, but when he's still getting his minutes in close games. He's playing 35 minutes or so, and when the game stays close, he's smashing now. And although it's gonna be a lower total game, a bit of a defensive slugfest, if he's gonna see 35 minutes or so at 7-3, it's gonna be tough not to play him.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, two more guys like right above 5K, like Pat Bev, 5'4", going against the Thunder. He just lives for these matches, man. Like we saw it against LeBron, we see it against every star. He even said in a post-game interview, like he knows his role. He knows what he's there for. He doesn't need the ball in his hands. He's there to defend the best player, and he does a great job at it. So when he's 5'4", he's playing 36 minutes a game or so in closer games, and he relies on a lot of peripherals like rebounds, assists, even. He's scoring fairly well, like 10 plus a game or so. It's gonna be a high total game. I'm gonna like him a lot too. And then Satoransky right above him at 5'5". Again, like I said, it's gonna be another higher total game. He has a ton of upside. He's close to 40 minutes in close games. He's borderline triple double guy when he gets to see his minutes. So at 5'5", he's gonna be some great value in the mid tier.
Yeah, Satoransky went off last game. On the FanDuel front, you got Russ at 11-7. You know, fine option. We'll see how today plays out. If you know he plays a lot or not, and you know how he looks. But there's just so many better, like other good options for cheaper. I don't think you go all the way up. Ben Simmons is priced way up to 10-6 on FanDuel, a site that's not as conducive to his game style. A guy that gets like triple doubles and um, you know, benefits from that. 10-6 is a steep price. Then, you know, you get a $1,500 discount down to Steph Curry. You know, against Denver, the two top teams in the West, in Golden State, I think he's a guy you could look at. Even if Clay comes back, it's not going to be popular. But he definitely has a couple monster games coming as they approach the playoffs, and this will be one that could go down to the wire. Kemba's really interesting over here as well. 9K against Washington, all the things you mentioned, significantly cheaper than Westbrook and Ben Simmons. He's definitely the guy I have my most interest on the high end. Coming down a little further, Chris Paul, 8-4 against Philly. We've just seen Chicago, and I forget who Philly played before that, but two teams just hang with Philly. Philly plays no defense,
Orlando, yeah.
plays super fast. Chris Paul and James Harden doing a lot for Houston, and on FanDuel, you're really not looking to pay up for Harden. So Chris Paul's another option I like at 8-4. Then we take another big drop down to the like 6K range. Elf Payton at 6-3 with no Drew Holiday. Could be in line for a ton of minutes as they decide whether they want to like offer him a new contract at the end of the season or let him go. So I see him seeing good minutes. All of them at point guard with no Drew Holiday. He should push that triple double upside at 6-3. I don't mind. You got Satoransky at 6-2 against Charlotte. Fast pace, should see a ton of minutes. Chris Dunn, has been playing better. I like point guards against Detroit. He's 5'8", not too bad. And finally, Reggie Jackson is 5'5". We've seen his minutes dip down with Ish Smith playing so well. Point guards have been great against Chicago. If he, gets off to a good start, he'll see bigger minutes in a close game. Chicago's been playing well. He's another option. I think I favor Dunn over him and Elf the most out of these cheaper guys. And then Chris Paul and Kemba up top. But pretty deep slate, pretty deep amount of options at point guard without even going down yet. So take us down to Value Town on the DK end. Is there anything you see over there that is enticing?
Yeah, so right away, one guy that stands out to me who everyone seems to be off of almost every game so far for him is Avery Bradley, man. Like, he's been playing extremely well. He barely has seen a price increase now, and DK is only 4-7. Again, this game's not really appealing. Matchup's not, of course, but when he's seen 35 plus minutes a game, 4-7, he hasn't scored under 29 DKP in his last five, and he showed 45 plus upside twice. One game without Mike Conley. His field goal attempts are trending towards like 15 plus a game, and he gets his peripherals. Like, he's been a stellar play every slate so far, and people refuse to play him. I love the guy. He's actually one of my real life favorite basketball players too, because I think he gets very
Really? Avery Bradley.
I love players like that, like him, Pat Bev, Andre Roberson. They get like very under respected because they're not good fantasy players, but they're so valuable like in real life basketball where it comes to like defensive efficiency. Like, if you just watch a game, like, he's such a stud defender. Like, he's physical. Like, I don't know. I like a lot of those guys like that I said who are like real life valuable that don't get respected in fantasy. But
I don't mind Avery Bradley, just wouldn't crack my favorite player list, but that's fine. Keep
I
going.
mean, he's not one of my favorite players. There's a few. There's obviously guys above him, but like I just like players like that.
I'm just teasing you, man. Keep going.
I know. So Ish Smith, 3-6 on DK, man. He's been playing so well that I almost don't want to believe he can sustain this. Seeing over 20 minutes a game, like last game he was on fire and saw 27 minutes, and he's scoring 25 plus in the last three. He's 3-6, where the Bulls slower pace but bad defensive efficiency. Like, if no true value opens up, I'm gonna like going him in GPPs a lot. Where I think I'll talk about him now. Dante Exum is another option at the price range too if he plays. Of course, it's gonna be first game back from injury. It's a foot injury, so I don't expect him to get full minutes which you might see a 25-30 or so if this was a normal game where he's not coming back from injury. But Neto's out, Rubio's out. It's gonna be hard not to have some appeal there at 3-3 if he's gonna see at least like 20 minutes, and I'm sure we'll hear some kind of restriction on him coming into the night with morning shoot around stuff like that. So keep your eyes open for that. But otherwise, it's really gonna be from that bottom tier point guard.
Yeah, not a ton that I see either on the FanDuel end. Just below 5K, you got Jalen Brunson. Dallas's season is over. He's been getting decent minutes against Orlando. I don't mind it. Definitely nothing I'm in love with though at 4-7. Landry Shamet, for the Clippers. If they're going to hang in this game, they're going to get performances from some, their lesser popular guys. He's been starting. If he gets hot from three, he can be kind of lethal. Frank Jackson is definitely a guy of interest in. With no Drew Holiday, he's 3-7 on FanDuel. I'm curious what he is on DraftKings. With Drew Holiday gone, another young guy that they're gonna want to get a look at. He may even split some time on the court with Elf, and definitely backing Elf up. His minutes have been up already. He's a guy that when he's on the court, he does contribute, scoring, getting some assists, some defensive stats. He's definitely a guy I expect to see a large boost in minutes with Drew Holiday going down. He's played just in the last 5. He's had 4 games over 20, and those 4 were 26, 24, 28, and 28 minutes. So, now with no Drew Holiday, we should see that increase. And in those games, he had a 25.8, a 25.4, a 20.8. At 3-7 with an increase in usage and minutes, he's definitely a value punt on FanDuel that I'll have a lot of interest in. Otherwise, I don't think there's a ton down here. I mean, Isaiah Thomas is a guy that I think you can punt with on FanDuel at min price. I'm sure he's going to have a handful of games. And this could be one where maybe Golden State blows them out and he gets, an additional 10, 15 minutes in blowout time, and a guy with big usage when he gets the minutes. I think it's going to have to be a blowout for him to do that. But if you want to just punt and say you're going to drop his score, he's perfect for that. Like, he's either going to, drop and be horrible or go off for like 10x and, be a big part of your lineup. So he's just another guy that you kind of can punt every day. I'm sure he's going to have like 1 or 2 games down, the end of the season where he does go for 30 or more. Like, just getting a look at what they got in terms of maybe him making the playoff rotation. So just another guy, but definitely Frank Jackson. And then the rest I like above 6. Let's move it over to shooting guard. I know a lot of your guys overlap, so anyone you already talked about is Dunzo. Anybody new? Let us know who you like.
Shooting guard is actually kind of barren tonight on DK. First guy stands out to me, of course, Beal. That same matchup I said earlier that I love a lot. Plays around 40 minutes in close games. Been smashing now. His rebounds, assists. He's a scoring animal now. But cash games, yeah, of course, no problem. He's going to get you probably 50 plus. I don't really know if he has that huge GPP ceiling that we need. He's 9.5 on DK. Yep. The match was nice, of course, too, but like, I'd much rather go down at shooting guard and pay up for like Doncic and Ben Simmons than play him at 9.5. I think he's a little more safer than those guys, but I don't think he holds that like 70, 60 point ceiling, although he flashed it a couple times. But otherwise, up top 2, Jimmy Butler, Embiid. He's always interesting. He's been so disappointing too, but
What's
it's
his price?
unbelievable. He's 7.2.
7.2. Very nice price.
Yeah, I don't mind going to him. Joe Ingles, 5'8". Again, not the best matchup, although their pace has increased since the trade deadline. He's seen 35 plus minutes in closer games. If you get no Rubio, no Exum, no Neto, then he's going to get the ball handling responsibilities at second team. I think he usually comes out around the 7-minute mark or so. Then he'll come right back in with the second team, handle the ball with them. But he's still been smashing with or without that, man. Like, if you look at game logs, like, he's priced up now a little bit at 5'8", where the matchup still isn't great, but he really hasn't been hitting below like 30 or so and showing some upside. So I like him a ton. Jeremy Lamb too, 5'6". Man, he murdered everybody last game, but that game as a whole turned out to be a shit show. One of the most, I think I saw some of those like the second or third lowest total or lowest points scored in the game all season so far. But he's still around a point per minute player, just under that for the season. He's going to Washington, where it's an amazing matchup. He's only 5'6", and telling you right now, I don't love shooting guards, so it's him. It's Batum at the same team at 5'5", who's playing 40 minutes a game now, who I like a lot. I'm definitely going to want to target them. That's really going to be it from the top side for shooting guard for me.
All right. On the FanDuel side, it's just totally different world. We got Harden at 12K. That's just a no. Actually, I shouldn't say it's just a no. Like against Philly, he could get off, have a huge game, fast paced. I just, like I play both sites. I'll play him on DraftKings and, fade him on FanDuel. There's got to be other options. Brad Beal 10-5. That's too much. Luka Doncic 9-8 against Orlando. I don't think I get involved there either. Like he's another guy that's just significantly better to play on DraftKings with the triple double and the 3-point bonus. Donovan Mitchell is 8,900. Playing point guard tomorrow if Rubio's ruled out. He's an option. FanDuel being more of like a raw points kind of site than point per dollar. 8-9. 45 points is 5x. I think that's certainly in the realm of outcomes against Memphis on the road. Yeah, Jimmy Butler at 8-2 just feels a little too expensive, but he's a candidate. Lou Williams is 7-3 against OKC. Like you said, Clippers in the playoff hunt. Lou Will is definitely a guy that I think if the Clippers are competing in this game, he's having a good game. He's been, his assist rate's been way up this year. He's not just scoring dependent. And at 7-3 on FanDuel, he's definitely an option for me at shooting guard. Going down a tad, I mean, Evan Fournier at 5'8 against Dallas is viable. I don't love it. We're going to get Ross back. But, he's, when you're looking at FanDuel, it's like, can this guy get 5x the position? And him at 5'8, he certainly could. And then Deion Waiters against Cleveland. He's got great history against them. Miami fighting to make the playoffs. Everybody against Cleveland is fine. He's 5'2". We certainly could see him getting 26 and going 5x and maybe a tad more. That's really going to be it, though. Like, shooting guard not that deep either, but I definitely like Lou Williams at 7-3. I think he could post a 40 or better and get you that elusive 6x on FanDuel. Take us down to Value Town on DK. What do you got? First guy I'm curious about, Delon Wright. What's his price over there?
That's who I was going to bring up first. He's
Cool.
4'5".
Nice. He's 5'8 on FanDuel.
5'8"?
Yeah.
See, that's wild. He like one crazy game last game, a few mediocre games before that. That's wild. He's that expensive. But
what's Avery Bradley? I know you talked about him at point guard. What's his price compared to Wright?
He's 4'7", and DeLon Wright's 4'5".
Yeah, both good options. Do you have a preference out of those two?
So if they both play, I'm definitely gonna prefer Avery Bradley. But if Avery Bradley's out, like DeLon Wright, it should see a lot more minutes of playing with Mike Conley at the 2. Like Avery Bradley, like I said before, is playing 35 plus minutes in close games, and he's shooting a lot now. It's not like the same we saw in the Clippers. It opens up a lot of minutes, a lot of field goal attempts, a lot of usage to go around. So DeLon Wright's going to be really interesting if he's rolled out. From the bottom side, Justin Holiday is also questionable, or he's probable. But if he misses, that only brings more appeal to both those guys. So I'll like him a little bit. Yeah, going down, the only other guy I see is who you mentioned, point guard, Frank Jackson, 3-2. He's getting more minutes now.
3-2. Wow.
Yeah, he's getting more minutes now that they're trying to bring those younger guys in.
And Drew Holiday being out.
Yeah, Drew Holiday's out. Even with Drew in, he was closing some games and he was playing well, seeing like 25 plus minutes. He doesn't really get the peripherals, but he scores and he likes to shoot when he puts the ball. So 3-2, I'm not going to mind that at all. And shooting guard's pretty barren, like I said. Still lets you pay up in other spots. I like him a ton.
Yeah, he's definitely interesting. A couple of the guys on that team we'll get to at other positions. On On FanDuel down in Valuetown, there's not much. Clarkson at 5K against Miami. Shooting guards we do like against Miami. He's seeing minutes in the mid-20s. We know he can get hot. He's decent. Kyle Korver is 4-2. He's been seeing good minutes even with Rubio back, but when Rubio's out, he has higher usage. Last game Rubio missed. He went for 29.6 FanDuel at 4-2. He's definitely an option. David Nwaba's 3,700. He's been playing around 20 to 25 minutes. His last game against Brooklyn, he scored 22 actual points. Went for 27 FanDuel, almost 8x there. So he's an option for value. That's really it. Like, it gets pretty ugly pretty fast on FanDuel and Value Land. Might be a position you do want to punt. I guess Justin Holiday is also an option. I know Avery Bradley's probable, so I don't think I end up coming to him. But, if you're punting, Nwaba is fine at 3.7 with a little bit of upside. Otherwise, I think you're looking above 5K on FanDuel. Let's move it over to small forward. Should be a new list of guys to talk about. What do you see over there?
Yeah, so small forward at the top end's pretty loaded. Some of the guys I talked about already, though, with both Doncic and Ben Simmons, who are point guard eligible on DK, around the same price tag, but the position eligibility is very nice for him. Paul George up top, he's 9-7 going against the Clippers, which is a great matchup. He's back below 10K, and where he's not that far behind Westbrook in point per minute value, I'm going to like him a lot, even though Westbrook's pretty cheap too. Still playing. He came back from injury. He played 38 minutes. He shot like shit, which people are kind of putting on that nagging shoulder injury, which could be the case too. And I will find out a little bit more tonight, of course, how he plays tonight. But match was really nice, so I don't mind going to him. Tobias Harris, bro, like he murdered me last game against the Bulls, where he scored fucking 18 DKP. But I really want to chalk it up as an outlier. I'm not gonna let that burn me here, where he goes into another nicer matchup where the Rockets are picking up their pace now, playing great. But their defense still isn't great, so I don't mind Tobias Harris 7-4. I prefer him over Jimmy Butler. But only the guy too above 5K really stands out to me, who I haven't mentioned in other spots. It's gonna be Otto Porter. He's playing a ton of minutes, man. Like, he's playing 35 plus, playing well. He's only 6K. The matchup, of course, isn't great, but he's kind of safe for play when he's playing that many minutes, rebounding well and stuff like that. So I don't mind him.
All right. On FanDuel, Paul George is the first name at 10-7. That's a tough price tag. Phenomenal matchup, phenomenal spot. He's doing well so far tonight. I don't think there's any injury side effects to concern yourself with. It's just more a matter of, do we like some of these other options? Kawhi Leonard is 9-6 in a game Toronto should win on the road against New Orleans. Kevin Durant, 9,200 against Denver. Again, this is like, a potential Western Conference Finals matchup. I could see this game being pretty intense. Denver always, plays up when they see Golden State. I don't mind Durant at 9-2. That feels a little too low. And, he's a guy that is definitely better to play on FanDuel. We've seen him have 7 block games and, multiple block, multiple steal games on top of just his normal contributions. It's a pretty appealing price at 9-2. Scrolling down, again, if Dragic's out, both Josh Richardson and Justice Winslow will be interesting. Joe Ingles, as you mentioned, he's 6'2", going to see the point guard role on the second unit. Like you said, he'll sub out a little early in the first quarter and play at the beginning of the second quarter with the second unit. He's been playing awesome. Aside from that, now he gets the assist rate increase. Definitely interesting. I think, you got to decide if you think Memphis hangs or not. It is in Memphis, which helps that. And, if you're playing a couple Utah guys, you probably want to run some Memphis guys back. Will Barton is 5'8". Started off that Lakers game on fire, then it just kind of got out of hand and didn't do much in the second half. Good history against Golden State. He's my favorite player on the Nuggets, and at 5'8", is a guy that I definitely could see, having a big upside. Could go for 40. Jabari Parker against the Hornets. They don't have much size. He's been playing minutes, between 20s and 30s. You catch the high end of that spread, and he does well against Charlotte. He's posted a handful of 40s. He's also posted a couple of duds, but I don't mind him. JJ Redick, as long as Embiid and Boban are out, he's seen 30 minutes a game the last three. When he shoots well, he can go for 30 or so, and at 5'5", you'll take it. Kenrich Williams is 5'2" on FanDuel. I'd imagine he's much cheaper on DraftKings, but even at 5'2", with no Drew Holiday, I think he's going to see huge minutes. And we saw earlier this year when he was playing with other guys injured, when he would have higher usage, he could go for 40s and higher. So I think Kenrich Williams is going to be back in our life with Drew Holiday out. And that is the last guy down to 5. What do you see down in Value Land? I think you're muted.
Yeah, Kenrich Williams is dead 4K on DK.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm going to like that a lot. Still playing huge minutes. Like, we saw a stretch where he was producing like crazy, so I don't mind him at all. Jay Crowder, again, I keep talking about these Jazz guys where the matchup's not great, but should get a couple more minutes from a bleed effect with Rubio, Exum, Neto out, and Donovan Mitchell playing point guard. I don't mind going to him. Oh, Luke Kennard's been weird, man. Like, he goes into this matchup against the Bulls where it's kind of a slower paced game, but their defense is awful. But he's been playing really well. I just can't believe the production can be this consistent. Solid 30 plus in 5 of the last 6 games. His 3-point shooting is just, like I said, too good to be true, man. Like, you're seeing 3 for 7, 5 for 9, 6 for 7, 5 for 8. Like, that's not sustainable. Where he still grades out as a great play at 4-6 going against the Bulls. I don't mind going to him, but I'm going to save him for GPPs only. I'm not going to go to him in cash, even though he's been smashing.
Mm-hmm.
From the bottom tier for small forward, I don't really like a ton here.
I'll ask you about one guy. What's Gary Harris's price?
He is. Oh, I kind of overlooked him a little bit too. He's 4K and he saw 30 minutes last game.
Yeah. He's balled out. He's back in the starting lineup, and looks like the injury is behind him now. I mean, it was against the Lakers, but this is another fast-paced game. He at 4K on DraftKings, he's definitely in the conversation, and he's the first guy in FanDuel in Value Town at 4,800. You could definitely consider. Jeff Green on Washington. You got to kind of choose between him, Portis, Jabari, but still seeing minutes 25 to 32-ish, and we know he has upside when he gets it going. Dorian Finney-Smith is 3.9. His minutes have kind of been all over the place, depending who's available. If, like, Maxi Kleber's out, that would give him a little bit of a boost. And not a guy who's got a ton of DFS upside, but we've seen 30s, high 20s at 3.9. He's a guy you could punt and drop if he's terrible, and if things work out, he might not end up being your drop. I don't mind that. Further down, I don't see much. Yeah. Yep, that's going to be about it. But on the DraftKings side, definitely have interest in Kenrich and Gary Harris against Golden State. And on FanDuel, it's mostly just Harris and Jeff Green. Move us over to power forward.
So what are the most important questions, which I always ask, like, Dan, when we do the shows together? Like, at what point do you start playing Anthony Davis when he's priced this cheap? Like, no Drew. He's only 6.6 on DK. He's only going to play 20 to 22 minutes. But 6.6 with no Drew. Where he's already scoring 32 plus a game. Like, obviously, I don't think I'm ever gonna go there in cash, but would
No.
you ever have any
Yeah, I played
throwing
him
him
a
in the field
couple
to?
nights ago. He was 6'7". He went for like 46, but it was so painful not getting him back in the game in the fourth. Um,
You might have got him back for the 3 seconds he defended the
yeah, I
inbounds
did.
pass.
I did with like 9/10 of a second when
Yeah,
Randall fouled out. But it's like it's not if you're building 3 to 5 lineups, you don't go there because the ceiling is capped. Like he can get you a 45, and that's great, but he's really not going to see much more than 21 minutes. He's 7-4 on FanDuel. Like he's viable, but I think it's only a guy you're playing if you're building multiple lineups or on like a late slate,
Paul George is
something like
so good.
that. But not on the main slate, I don't think.
Yeah, so and going up a little more to Kevin Love at 7-8. Um, of course, my matchup isn't always appealing, especially Bam has shown he's a pretty solid defender, even over Whiteside, but he got pushed to 31 minutes last game, and he played awful going into halftime of that game too against the Nets, where he should have smashed, and he did smashing. I think going into halftime, he had like 14, 15 DKP. I ended up with like 55, so we know the upside he has if he's playing these big minutes, and if he gets stretched to all the way to 31, if he's going to play 30 plus again, he's been a pretty dominant per minute player so far this season. So I'm going to have some interest in him there. Julius Randle, A2, same story. He's going to get a lot of minutes with no AD, no Drew now. He's already playing 35 plus. It's going to be really hard not to like him. And he's another guy, too. People don't play a lot because they still see AD in the lineup. Of course, Drew's been playing, but he gets a lot of minutes without AD now. He's been smashing, so I don't definitely don't mind playing him at all. Sticking up top to Larry Nance at 6K. He had a really good outing last game. He's playing 32, 33 minutes now with all the injuries in the front of court for Cleveland. So uh, I don't mind playing him, but we have Tristan Thompson's out. He's questionable, right? Oh no, he is listed out. So yeah, I'm not gonna mind going back to Larry Nance there. It's that price tag. Um, up top, what's unbelievable to me last game too. Fucking Kelly Olynyk playing 45 minutes, man. Like, where did that come from? Why? Like, I'm gonna need to look deeper into that tomorrow too. But if he's gonna see, obviously, I'm never to expect or project him to play 40 minutes plus. But if he's gonna play 33 minutes or so against the Cavs at home, I'll have some interest there.
Yeah, what's his price?
DK's 5'8".
Yeah, I mean, against Cleveland, sure, why not? And I don't know what's going on with James Johnson, but he has not played much since coming back from injury. And Whiteside on the second unit, he's getting a lot of rebounds and just being a big part of the offense on the first unit. So can't ignore what Kelly Olynyk has been doing. On FanDuel, Kevin Love is 8-6. That feels a little too high, especially against Miami. But if Cleveland continues to play their guys those kind of minutes, he's a tough matchup for Bam and Kelly O. So I don't mind him. I feel like the price is a little too high on FanDuel. You got Blake Griffin against 80 at 8,500 against the Bulls. Great matchup. He seems to have taken a back seat to Andre Drummond, who's just been playing phenomenally. But we know what Blake can do when he gets hot. He's had a couple triple doubles recently, and it's a big two-man show there. I don't mind him as well. You've got Tobias Harris at 7,800. I think he just took a back seat to Jimmy Butler against the Bulls, but I expect him to do very well here against Philly. Aaron Gordon, I've been playing a lot on Orlando, taking on Dallas. He should do well rebounding wise, and Orlando playing hard, trying to make the playoffs. Currently the 9 seed, I don't mind. Paul Millsap, 6'7" against Golden State. Definitely have interest there, with Boogie down low. They've been much better against centers, so maybe it's not a Jokic day. Maybe it's Paul Millsap day, or maybe just he goes for like 40 points even when Jokic is doing well. So definitely have interest in Millsap. You mentioned Olynyk. There's a lot. Power forward's actually very deep. If Ibaka draws the start against New Orleans at 5-5, I have interest in him as well. Bam Adebayo's 5-1 on FanDuel against against Cleveland with no size. He's certainly in play. I don't think they're going to go back to Hassan Whiteside at the starter lineup just yet. So as long as he's going to continue to get minutes over the 20s at 5-1, he's interesting. Very, very deep power forward above 5. What about down low? You see anything down there?
Jabari Parker's power forward eligible in DK. 4-9. I said a million times already, I love the matchup. So he's been producing really well, scoring a ton, rebounding, getting a few assists, playing. Minutes have trended up a little bit too. We saw 26 and 29 last 2 games. I won't mind playing him a little bit. Again, I don't think he's really cash viable. Like I definitely won't want to prioritize him, but he's certainly a good tournament option there. Going down a little lower to Mason Plumlee, still only flat 4K going against the Warriors. He's just a good perimeter guy. Like if he gets any kind of extra run from Millsap getting foul trouble, Jokic getting foul trouble, blowout, anything, if he can see that 22 to 25 minutes again, at the flat 4K, I like him a ton. And I think Looney's out again for tomorrow, right?
Let me check.
Oh, he's expected to play too.
Is he? Okay.
It's probable, but if he gets ruled up for any reason, you kind of see Jordan Bell get some second team center minutes, so it's a lot better matchup for Plumlee, of course, too, where he has a lot of that size advantage. So I don't mind going to Plumlee. Thinking in that Charlotte Washington game, Frank Kaminsky, he came back into the rotation now and he's playing above 20 minutes and he's producing well. He's 3-9 on DK. Yes,
Yeah.
center eligibility too, which is nice. But he's another guy too who's like his effective field goal percentage is kind of too good to be true. Like he's shooting way too well. He's 3-9. Like I think he's safe, of course, in the matchup. But if he's gonna come in super chalky, pivotal guys, same price tag, like Henry Williams, stuff like that in tournaments. So from the bottom end, that's most likely gonna be it for me. Amir Johnson still. Like I had him that first game Bolden was out because like kind of got to play him against the Magic with the big bodied Vucevic, and he got to start and he smashed too. And I was surprised when he got 20 minutes again last game because I thought they'd run more smaller lineups like Markin at the 5 and matching with like Bolden at the 5 too. But if he's gonna still play 20 minutes, it's 3-5, and they do need his bigger body against like Capella. So I might not mind going to him either there.
Yeah, on FanDuel, Amir Johnson's 3-9, while Mike Scott's 4-2 and Jonah Bolden's 4-4. If he's still in the starting lineup, Biggs have done great against Houston. I don't mind him as a punt option. You got PJ Tucker with no Fareed. He's 4,800, plays huge minutes, usually doesn't have much upside, but against Philly, I wouldn't be shocked to see him get a handful of peripherals, block steals. And if he gets hot from 3, he's shown us 40 points at 4.8. You take it. Frank Kaminsky's 4-4 on FanDuel. I think that's a little too high, but I do acknowledge he has been playing and doing decent. 3-9 on DraftKings. I don't mind it. I don't think I end up there. I'm assuming more value would open up that's more attractive, but he's an option. Check Diallo, 3,900. He hasn't played much minutes lately. I think I would need AD to get ruled out, but he's a punt kind of guy that has, if he does play 20 minutes, he can go for 30 and get you that 8x, or you drop him. Lastly, J. Michael Green on the Clippers at 3-7, another punt drop if he's terrible, but has 30-point upside if he gets minutes. After that, I don't see a ton that I like, but a couple options. Move it over to center. Don't stop. Go all the way through. This should be very deep on a 9-game slate. Who do you like?
Jokic, of course, at 10K. For stupid upside any single game. Even though he I can't even say he murdered me against the Lakers. Like I thought he'd have like a huge outing, and he only scored 51 DKP, but he only shot the ball 5 times. Saw a ton of rebounds and assists like he always does. So against the Warriors, where like Boogie loves to foul and stuff like that, and Jokic kind of gets defenders in foul trouble all the time. Like I don't mind going back to him at all. Uh, Vucevic, another guy, kind of burned me last game against the Sixers, where I thought he dominated the matchup. But he should draw a Dwight Powell defense. He's been relatively good point per minute so far in season. I like him a lot too. Speaking of Dwight Powell, I like him, man. Like his price is getting up there where he's 6'7" now, and a little bit of a tougher matchup, but he's been just about a point per minute player the whole season. People were kind of scared off him when they saw the 2 blowout games and less minutes, but he plays 35 minutes plus in these closer games, and he has a ton of upside too. We've seen him shooting threes and ridiculously well, where he missed 1 3 out of 11 attempts in his last 5 games. I kind of like the floor and the upside the guy has, even in a tougher matchup. Don't mind him at all. He going down. Robin Lopez, man.
What's his price?
He's 5'2" on DK.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. He's playing. He went from a buyout guy to rumor that they want to kind of extend him into next year. But he's playing a ton of minutes, like 37 to 40 minutes a game now. He's playing stupid well. His price is only got driven up to 5'2", where he's scoring 30 plus a game now. I always say, like, at what point does a tournament play become a cash play? So I don't mind him as a cash play too. They definitely need the big body against the big front court of the Pistons. Not an easy match against Drummond, but like if he's gonna play 37 minutes at 5K, where he's scoring 30 plus a game, I'll have a lot of appeal there. Pella's 6'7". It's weird. Like he hasn't been performing well at all. He's not getting his lobs or field goal attempts at all, like he was earlier in the season.
Who's this?
Capella.
Okay.
But Freed's out again, right?
Yes.
So he should be guaranteed his minutes again. I just know the upside and talent the guy has from early in the season, even last year too. I never mind taking tournament shots on him, but again, I don't think the most ideal cash play.
No, not a cash play, but definitely a tournament play.
And Steven Adams, same thing. I think he's kind of shitting the bed right now for me. But 6'2", going against the Clippers, who do not have a big body to defend him. They have oversized baby fucking Zubac and Montrez, who really can't guard him either. So where he's only 6K, I think it's perfectly fine cash play with some upside there. So I don't mind going to him. Center diving deep, I don't see much. I mentioned Amir Johnson already. That's really going to be it for me so far.
Yeah. On the FanDuel side, definitely have interest at Drummond at 10K. I know he's cheaper on DraftKings. Guy's just been playing phenomenal, and bigs against the Bulls. Probably one of my favorite plays out there. Jokic at 10-9 against Golden State is in play, but I strongly favor Drummond. Moving down the list, Clint Capella is definitely an option. With Philly not having any size, and Houston having limited options on offense, I could see him getting the pick and roll going with both Harden and Chris Paul. You talked about the caveman, Robin Lopez. He's certainly an option. Like you said, he was about to get bought out. He got told he wasn't going to see minutes, and then injuries occurred, and now the minutes are huge, and they're going to need him against Detroit. He's certainly in play. Creeping down the list, not a ton I see in value. You talked about Looney. He's going to play tomorrow. They did acquire Bogut, but he's not back yet. So Looney's a punt option at min price against Denver. They could use his size. Not a ton, actually. I thought it was going to be deeper, but I don't mind the Caveman. I don't mind Capella. Even Joval against Utah, not an ideal spot, but just playing big minutes for Memphis. But Drummond up top is probably my favorite play. And that is going to do it for the game by game nation. If you have not tried us out, perfect time to do it. $2.50 gets you a day pass and gets you access to all the content except for the Slack chat. And that may be changing as we make a shift in the near future to
Discord.
Discord. Yeah, we may be switching the Slack over to Discord. And the one benefit is that it'll allow us to offer our Day Pass guys access to the chat. So you'll be able to try that out. So something coming in the future. Also, another thing coming in the future is baseball. Tomorrow's the last day you can get the baseball season pass at a discount. It is going up after tomorrow.
I can't wait for MLB, man. There's a few of us already grinding spring training there. We've been doing well. Like, I know I took down the shot a couple times already. I mean, it's a small, like 1,500 man field, but I took that down a couple times already this season. John's in there now. Nick's in there now. Everyone's doing well and ton of fun.
Dude, baseball was really awesome last year, and I'm looking forward to it for sure. Not that far away. Less than 21 days till opening day. So get that season pass. Baseball is going to be awesome as it was last year. I think of the three sports, we had the most success in baseball as a company, subscribers winning. Basketball came close, and there's still some time, but as a whole, I think baseball was the most consistent and just a lot of fun. Let's do some top threes, and then we shall get out of here. What do you got at point guard?
Westbrook, Ben Simmons, Kemba Walker.
Yeah, definitely liking Kemba Walker. I'll grab Frank Jackson as a value play, and I will go with Elf with no Drew. Shooting guard.
Shooting guard, Beal, all the way down to Frank Jackson. And then my last one's going to be Donovan Mitchell.
All right. For me, I like Zach LaVine. I like Avery Bradley and Will Barton. Small forward.
Paul George, Winslow if Dragic's out, Jeremy Lamb.
All right. Gary Harris, Kenrich Williams, and Kevin Durant. Power forward.
Julius Randle, Kevin Love, and I'm going to go all the way down to Frank Kaminsky.
All right. Power forward for me is going to be Tobias Harris, Aaron Gordon, and Paul Millsap. And center.
Robin Lopez, Jokic, and Vucevic.
All right, give me Andre Drummond, give me Rolo, and give me Kelly Olynyk. And that is going to do it. The Wise Take DFS podcast. If you are watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Podbean, iTunes, do your part, help the nation out, give us a like, share, support. All those things go a long way, helps the nation continue to do what we do, bring you these free podcasts. Anything you want to say in closing, Steve?
No, that's really it. I'm excited for MLB season, man.
MLB right around the corner.
Yeah, that's really going to be it. I'm happy to get a nice 9-game slate tomorrow after just 2-game slate today too. So that's gonna be fun. Barely played anything tonight. I missed playing. It's weird on a smaller slate like today. I still play a decent amount, but I don't do like my full grind. Like on a nice 9-game slate, like I'll be at my computer from like 10 a.m. to like I'll go to the gym once and then like right till lock, man. I'm grinding out the day. Like on a 2-game slate, fucking felt weird, bro. It's like what am I supposed to do all day? Like playing spring training shit now, like felt different. I'm excited for tomorrow.
2 games too small, NBA guys who make the schedule, at least give us 4. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Content as usual, 9-game slate, Friday night. Let's do it. For Stevie Brown DFS, for myself, for the entire Wise Take Nation, as always, good luck. Peace.
Yeah.